Are you here for the meeting? Well, come on.
No! Some call me the Dark One, others the Lord of Death. To most, I am Dracula.
Okay, obviously we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
Now, let's eat.
I saw him in a screen when he's doing the screen test before we had to all get in front of the camera. We're in New Orleans, and I had to, hold a gun this way and do this, and then he came up looking like Bela Lugosi, and it was amazing. It was incredible, and he's walking around, you're like, oh my God. But then you see him all because he goes through so many different phases of Dracula, and then when I had my scenes with him and he's kind of a little messed up, it was terrifying. It was so easy to react. All you had to do was look at him and act. It was amazing. I saw the old ones, but also I was a Mel Brooks fan, so I saw Dracula Dead and loving it. So Leslie Nielsen was a version of Dracula for me. But you see the Bram Stoker stuff, you see sexy Draculas, but for some reason Leslie Nielsen is the one that I probably saw the most because I was watching Spaceballs and I was watching Young Frankenstein and stuff like that. So my correlation with it is I was always kind of afraid of horror movies, so I would kind of keep them at bay until I got older, and then I started downloading all of them in my brain. I would say it's harder to find horror within your comedy. It's easier when you have your dramatic scene because in my head, the drama needs to be released in some way sometimes. Sometimes it has to be the scene, but if my character is kind of a mess up and stuff like that, so if I see a place to kind of because I think the jokes hit really hard. Even when I'm doing improv, I can't just be funny. You have to give them something that's follow the line and then hit them and stuff like that. So for me, it's definitely to find those moments to be comedic within the horror or the action or anything like that. And it was so fun. It was so fun to do. Amy Poehler had the best line in where she said, I've turned the character John Ralphio into a little puppy where even when he pees on something oh, John Ralphio, you can't get too mad. I try to do that. I try to make you feel the heart of the character enough where when they do something stupid or something bad, you feel for them and you're like, oh, it's kind of adorable. It's bad, don't do that again, but it's kind of adorable. He's so bad, he's trying to kill people, he's doing drugs, he's such a bad person where I think putting that element in there is really fun because you're like, how am I rooting for this terrible human being? But that's I think the fun of it, yeah. Joan Foreman Schwartz, Joan, maiden name Foreman, married name Schwartz, was a music teacher for 50 years in the Bronx, one of my favorite human beings in the universe, talk to her all the time. She has loved it, also because I played Carnegie Hall, my improv shows played Carnegie Hall, and I'm playing Radio City in September, and it's the idea that my mom could go into these venues that she had no money growing up, and we didn't really go to Radio City and stuff like that, but we know what it feels like. It's amazing. To give her that is amazing. Her son is on the thing, it's been amazing. I remember when I did Carnegie Hall, my mom was the mayor in there, greeting everybody like it was her show. She's like, oh my God, yeah, it's my son. I know, it's gonna be great. So she's over the moon. And she'll be so happy, Jake, that you mentioned her in this. Yes, that's Con Air, Face Off, Raising Arizona as well. But then also when I got older, Adaptation was enormous. I remember it's one of the very few movies I've ever in my life finished it and then go, whoa, and started it from the beginning to see what I can pick up on now that I kind of know what the film is about. But he's a movie star. I mean, there's not as many movie stars anymore, you know what I mean? There's big vehicles, but it's there's not as many movie stars. I remember a couple actors that are really established are because there's so much social media and you see everybody and stuff like that, but man, he was it for us. And I remember I did a show with John Malkovich, and we got John Malkovich to watch Con Air with us so we can ask him questions during it, and it was the best thing in the universe. It was heaven. It was amazing. And I don't think he had seen it since the premiere, so it was amazing.